Welcome back, trainers. Are you ready for some shocking Pokemon action? Because today we have some fantastic battles lined up that you're sure to enjoy. Get ready to witness not one, not two, but 3 electrifying battles with this new Hydreigon team. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be astounded as we dive into these legendary matches featuring the Hydra of Myth itself. Trainers, if you enjoy the adrenaline field battles and want more heart-pounding action, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to join us on our journey to 20k subscribers. Your support means the world to me, so let's keep the excitement going. Anyway, with all that being said, let's jump straight into the first battle. And the first battle is here. We're going against Erland from the Discord server in the OU tier. Once again, go ahead and join the Discord server. It's the best place to go for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles right now. There's a link in the description down below. Looking at the team, I'd say Cinderace is going to have fun here. Get rid of that Meowscarada and the Sandy Shocks as well. Break the sash on that Glimmora. They more than likely lead with the Glimmora or the Meowscarada. So I would say personally maybe a Mamoswine lead for the Glimmora or maybe a Zapdos lead. That could be good as well. Zapdos could definitely be good, but if they have Power Gem, that's going to sting a bit. So what do we do? That is the real question. I think leading with Cinderace is probably the best idea. It's fast, it can go for a U-turn, it can do a lot of things, and they wouldn't keep the Meowscarada in against it, no way. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Erland. So they're going to lead off with Clodsire, which is an interesting lead, as we lead off with our Cinderace. Nice and shiny, gotta love it. So, let us go straight for a Pyro Ball. I don't see any reason not to, that's for sure. There we go, Pyro Ball comes through. They don't really have a switch into Pyro Ball, as it nearly takes out the Clodsire, which is impressive. They get the Stealth Rocks up, so if we can get rid of the Clodsire, that's going to set things up nicely for our Hydreigon as well, being their only special defensive wall Pokemon on the team. So let's go for another Pyro Ball. Again, they don't have a switch into Pyro Ball at all, other than Glimmora. So we go for another Pyro Ball. Yep, they don't have a switch in. They've got to let the Clodsire go down, haven't they? But at least they got the Stealth Rocks up. And I could have Court Change for all they know, but I don't. But like I said, for all they know. In comes the Glimmora. Nicely done. That's going to be able to take a Pyro Ball. They probably figured out that we were choice banded based on the damage we were doing. So that's a good play on my opponent's behalf. So I'm leaning towards the Hydreigon, leaning towards Zapdos. I think they either go for a Power Gem or a Spikes here. Or a Mortal Spin. So I think what I will do is I will go into Decidueye because I want to get rid of those Stealth Rocks if I can. So cross Clodsire off. So we'll go into our Decidueye now. Decidueye does have the Defog, which is great and all. There you go for a Rock Polish. Interesting. So that's a Rock Polish Glimmora right there. I have not seen an offensive Glimmora in a while. Okay? In a while. So let's see how we can do this. So I would go for a Defog, but I think there's a good chance they go into Goldengo here. However, I am specially defensive, so I can take a hit. So it might be worth just going for the Poltergeist, just in case they go into Goldengo, which they haven't here. They've gone for a Meteor Beam, which they're going to have Power Herb, right? Yep, pretty sure. They do, which means my Poltergeist is not going to work. I have not seen this Glimmora set ever. And that nearly KOs me. We go for the Poltergeist, and it obviously doesn't work because they've used up their item. So now, we're in a bit of a pickle. We are in a bit of a pickle against this Glimmora. I was not expecting this turnaround. So what we can do is I will try and go for a Defog here just in case we can pull it off. We can't, obviously, because we just go for a Sludge Wave and take us out. So we're going to have to make some changes here. So they probably don't have anything to hit Hydreigon super effectively. We are Terra Poison. I can drop a Draco on this thing. I'm leaning towards that. I think I will do that. Because we're Choice Scarfed at the end of the day. We might still outspeed, even though they are +2 and I'm +1. Nice and shiny Hydreigon as well. Love it. It's actually a reference to, I think it's Pokemon, is it Resurgence or something like that? Someone told me. I just got DM'd the copy of the sprite and was like, can you make this in game? And I was like, yeah, looks sick. So I made it. We can call it the Ancient Monster variant of Hydreigon or something. But I'm going to go ahead and Terra Poison, so that I can drop a Draco without having to get hurt by anything like a Sludge Wave. So there we go. We're going to Terrastallize into a Poison type. This way will resist Sludge Wave, and they can't go for Meteor Beam because it's a 2-turn attack. They haven't got Power Herb anymore. And their other move's probably going to be Energy Ball or Earth Power. And then I don't know what their last move... Well, their last move is Rock Polish, so I don't know what other move they could have, really, other than Energy Ball and all that. They actually are going to Terrastallize. Please don't be Terra Fairy. The Terra Flying. Okay, so Terra Flying's fine. We can handle that. But what Terra type are they going to be? They may expect a Terra Steel. We actually outspeed, which is crazy because of the Choice Scarf. Doesn't get the KO, unfortunately, but we should be able to live a Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam comes through. Boost their special attack, but they have already used their Power Herb, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's just outspeed them again and go for another Draco Meteor here. I kind of wasted my Terror then, but at the same time, how was I to know they weren't going to go for a normal attack? So that Glimmora does go down, which is great. They now know where Choice Scarf, sorry. But Hydreigon is still at near enough full HP other than Stealth Rock Chip, so we should be alright. So in comes Sandy Shocks. So this thing terrifies me to no end, that's for sure. It's going to get its Power Herb? Photosynthesis boost in its special attack, not its speed, which is good to note. We now have to switch out. So I'm leaning towards Zapdos. Indeed. They more than likely go for a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt here. They won't go for an Earth Power because of the Levitate. They more than likely go for a Thunderbolt, so we might be worth risking the Mamoswine. I think I will risk the Mamoswine here. I think risking the Mamoswine is probably perfect. They're probably not going to go for a Power Gem because it's not Stab. They more than likely go for a Thunderbolt, so I'm going to bring Manny in. If they do switch up moves and they predict the Mamoswine switch, that's a good play on their behalf, so I can't hold that against them. Gravity. Interesting. So Gravity makes it so moves can't miss, right? Is there a way we can use this to our advantage? I'm going to go for the Icicle Spear because we don't mess around with threats. They go for an Earth Power. It's going to do a lot of damage. We do manage to just barely hold on as we go for that Icicle Spear. Loaded dice boosted, so it's going to hit at least 4 times, which is all we need apparently. Yep, 4 times is all we need. There we go. Sandy Shocks goes down, which is amazing. So it's an interesting game so far with some interesting sets. Gravity Sandy Shocks and Meteor Beam Glimmora as well. And then we had the Clodsire, which was just a sack play. I wonder what else they're going to have on the team. Skarmory comes in. So Skarmory does walls to no end. I do want to break that Sturdy, but I also want to get my Stealth Rocks up as well. So that's what I'm going to go for, is Stealth Rocks first. May as well, just to help break any Focus Sashes or on the Meowscarada, and just in general chip damage. If they end up switching out the Skarmory, for example, we can get some nice, we can break it Sturdy with the Stealth Rocks. But now they've gone for a Spikes, I have no reason not to go for another Icicle Spear just to get some damage off. May as well, chip damage is chip damage at the end of the day. So we'll go for Icicle Spear, let's see if we can hit all 5 times, that'd be nice. There we go, hit all 5 times, which is great. They go for another layer of Spikes, interestingly done. They more than likely go for a Roost here. So I am kind of debating whether or not I want to go into something else like Cinderace. I think I will just hard switch in Cinderace here because, like I said, they more than likely go for a Roost. So it gives me a perfect opportunity to go into the Cinderace and go for a Pyro Ball because they do not have a Pyro Ball switch in at all. So in comes the Cinderace. Nice and shiny. Gotta love it. We are going to get hit by Stones and Spikes. But it's fine. We can handle it, no problem. Unless they switch up moves and go for a Body Press, which they haven't done. They've gone for the Roost as predicted, which is fine. So we get a nearly free switch into Cinderace. The Gravity is gone. Oh, I could have gone for an Earthquake as a Gravity, couldn't I? You can tell I've never battled Gravity before. Yeah, I could have gone for an Earthquake with a Mamoswine. I realize that now. I guarantee there's going to be someone in the comments saying, oh, you could have gone for an Earthquake with the Skarmory because of Gravity. Let's go for a Pyro Ball, just because it'll take it down to its Sturdy. Pyro Ball comes through with its nerfed animation. Doesn't even take it down to Sturdy. It just straight up just doesn't KO. Choice banded, by the way. Let's go for a Pyro Ball again. There's no reason not to spam balls of this thing. Pyro Ball comes through, and we haven't missed once. Great. Skarmory goes down. So now they have Goldenga, which could be Scarfed, and they have a Meowscarada, which outspeeds us naturally anyway. So let's see how this plays out for poor Cinderace. Meowscarada comes through. So we could still use Cinderace's Sucker Punches for that Goldengo, especially if it's Scarfed. So I don't want to stay in and let this thing go down. I'm going to sack off Mamoswine because I haven't got a Hazard Clearer anymore with Decidueye being knocked out. So I may as well just sack it off and get a free switch in on Meowscarada. If I'm getting a free switch in on anything, it's going to be the Meowscarada because it's just OP. There we go, Cinderace. Come on back. Come on back. Let's go into Mamoswine just to let it go down. There we go. Stealth Rock's going to take you down just like so. So that technically counts as a KO for Clodsire, right? I don't know. This isn't a draft game, so I don't know why I care. Anyway, they did go for a knockoff. They could be banded, which means they might be locked into knockoff there. They might. Good to note. So, what do we do here? That is the real question. They're a dark type. They're probably locked into it, but we don't know that for sure. I think Hydreigon is your time to shine. So let's bring in Maleficent, Hydreigon, and we'll drop a Draco real quick. If we drop a Draco, it obviously does open up a switch for the Goldengo. Could go for a U-turn here just in case. I think I will go for a U-turn. If they're Scarfed and they go for a knockoff here, then so be it. But I think we go for a U-turn. They withdraw, so they're not Scarfed. Either that or they just want to take a Draco to the face. And they're going to go into the Goldengo. So we made the right play by going for the U-turn. Like so. Pointed Stone's going to dig into the Goldengo. And it doesn't have an air balloon, which is good to note. We go for a U-turn. And we get on out of there. So, like I said before, we don't know what set this Goldengo is. But I can't switch Cinderace in either. He doesn't have boots. What do I do? I guess it's Zapdos' time to shine. So let's go Zapdos, Fundaga, or Fundaja, however you pronounce it. Nice and shiny, gotta love it. Let us go for a Heat Wave, because they can't switch the Meowscarada into a Heat Wave, and this thing doesn't want to appreciate it either. Heat Wave comes through, and it misses. Oh dear, that's anticlimactic. As they go for a Shadow Ball, this is surely going to sting a little bit, but at least we know now they're not Scarfed. Good to know. Let's go for another Heat Wave, because there's no real reason not to. There's no point roosting, because they're doing more damage than we can roost off. There we go, Heat Wave comes through. Does a nice solid bit of damage to the Goldengo. They go for a Shadow Ball to finish us off. So, not the best outcome. Not the worst either. But we are in a very good position right now, because now that the Goldengo is weakened, we can bring in good old Hydreigon real quick, like so. Good old Hydreigon real quick, like so. And all we need to do really is go for a Fire... I want to go for a Dark Pulse to take this thing out, but at the same time I'm leaning towards... They're going to bring Meowscarada in right now. So I think I'll risk the Fire Blast. It is a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Fire Blast comes through and we hit, which is amazing. Down goes the Goldengo. Thank you very much. Oh dear. So this Meowscarada that's about to come in could change the game. Cinderace is dying as soon as it comes in from the Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks do hit the Meowscarada as well, which is nice. I don't want to risk the Fire Blast. I want to sack Cinderace first. Come back in with Hydreigon and drop a Draco on it. That's what I need to do. So, I think as long as they don't go for a Play Rough yet, I think the best thing for them to do is go for a Play Rough, expecting us to switch so that they can be immune to the Draco Meteor and resistant to the Dark Pulse. That's what they should do, because Protean only activates once when they're out on the battle, right? So they go for a Flower Trick, which is going to turn them into a pure Grass type. So we are in the clear. We are in the clear. They might not even have Play Rough. Some people will usually run Triple Axle nowadays. Let's go back into Hydreigon so that we can drop a nice and powerful Draco on this thing. Now they've used up the Protean, it doesn't matter what they do. We can take it, unless they have Sucker Punch, which I don't think they will because they showed they have Knockoff. So, as long as we don't miss a Draco Meteor here, we are fine. Watch us miss. Watch us miss now. Just watch us miss. We don't miss. Great. And that is gonna be the game. So that was a pretty interesting game. I enjoyed that one. Lots of really cool sets. GG Erland. I really like that one. Thank you very much for the battle. And the second battle is here. We're going against Cody from the Discord server in the OU tier. And they've got a really cool looking team. Skarmory, Reuniclus, Greninja, Deoxys Speed, Rhyperior, which is awesome. And a Weavile. Gotta love the Weavile representation. So, looking at their team, I'd say they lead with Skarmory or Deoxys. Looking at my team, I'd probably lead off with a Mamo to get the Stealth Rocks up straight away. Or the Zapdos. So, I think what I'm going to do is, I am going to lead with Zapdos. And if they go into Greninja, if they lead with Greninja, we just switch straight into the Alomomola. I said it right, nice. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Cody. So they're going to lead off with Deoxys Speed. Nice and shiny, lovely, jubbly. As we lead off with Zapdos, nice and shiny as well. So, not a bad matchup. They probably don't have Ice Beam, but even if they do, we can take it. Let's go for a Volt Switch real quick. They go for a Light Screen. Interesting. So, are they a dual screens Deoxys? That's interesting. So, we go for a Volt Switch like so. Does no damage, of course. And then, what we're going to do is, we're going to go into our nice and powerful Decidueye. Now, Decidueye has Defog, which is why I'm not too worried about the screens. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Defog. They more than likely switch into Weavile here. which they are going to withdraw. Are they going to go Weavile? Weavile would be a good switch. Skarmory is also a respectable switch. So, yeah, Skarmory comes in. That's also nice and shiny. Gotta love it. We go for a Defog, like so. And then Skarmory is going to get its evasiveness dropped. And the reason that's a good thing is because now I'm going to bring in Hydreigon. And I'm going to bring in Hydreigon because they're not going to go for a Body Press. Because Body Press doesn't affect Decidueye. They more than likely go for Hazard Tier or a Whirlwind. But because they've got an evasiveness drop from Defog, we can now go for a Fire Blast and we know it'll hit the Skarmory. So they go for a Stealth Rocks, which is great. What would their switching be here? Because I'm looking at their team and I'm thinking they don't have the great... You know, Hydreigon does really well here. So I think I will go for a Fire Blast regardless. They do withdraw the Skarmory as expected, but it's fine. I could have dropped a Draco, but I didn't want to, as they bring Rhyperior in. So they're making all the safe plays. That's nice and shiny as well. I don't really like shiny Rhyperior. Gross and shiny. We go for a Fire Blast. We could get a burn here, but I doubt it, as we don't. So we have to switch out, obviously. We're going to go into Alola. I can't say it now. I said it earlier. Aloe, Momo, Ola. Aloe, Momola. No, I don't know. You know what? Palindrome's coming in nice and shiny as well. Let's see what we can do with a Scald here. So Scald, we could get a burn on something. They go for a Heat Crash though, which is going to do no damage to my Alola. And we're going to get some Rocky Helmet chip as well. So let's go for... Do we go for a Flip Turn or a Scald? I think Flip Turn is probably the best way to go. So I'm going to go for it. They do withdraw the Rhyperior. Great. So Flip Turn was the right play. And they're going to go into Mikoto, which is going to be what exactly? The Reuniclus. Nice and shiny. Go for a Flip Turn. Get on out of there. And then we just go straight back into our Hydreigon and go for a Dark Pulse. The reason I want to know, do we do that or do we go Decidueye Poltergeist? That just based in the Skarmory though. We do get a Defog off, which would be nice. I think I'm going to go Cinderace. And the reason I'm going to go Cinderace is because we're keeping the momentum going. The reason Cinderace is a good switch is because we can go for a Stab super effective U-turn thanks to Libero. Boosted by Choice Band. If they stay in, they get KO'd. If they switch out, we get a free switch on whatever they go for. So let's go for a U-turn. I think that's the best play. So we go for a U-turn. They do stay in. Versus Choice Band is taking it out. Yep, Reuniclus goes down. So they did not have a great switch into that. They couldn't go Skarmory because we could have gone Pyro Ball. They couldn't go Deoxys. It goes down. They couldn't go Greninja or Weavile goes down. And hit Rhyperior, we could easily switch up moves and go for something else. So now I'm leaning towards a Aloe Palindrome switch. I just can't say the name. I'm just going to call it by its nickname. Palindrome's going to come in. Like so. We get some Stealth Rock chip, but it's fine. And again, we're going to Flip Turn. There's no reason not to Flip Turn on whatever they bring in. Deoxys comes through. So Deoxys is a good one. Nice and shiny. Gotta love it. So now, with Deoxys exerting the pressure, all we do is we go for a Flip Turn real quick. They go for a Reflect this turn. Now that's going to backfire. Going for a Reflect over a Light Screen is going to backfire a little bit because now all we have to do is go into Hydreigon, who outspeeds because of the Choice Scarf, I hope. Deoxys speed is very fast, so I'm really hoping this outspeeds with a Choice Scarf. I have a feeling it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's fine. It's no big deal. So we'll go into Hydreigon, nice and shiny. Pointer Stones do dig in, which is unfortunate. But we get to go for a... well, I'm leaning towards dropping a Draco because they might go into Greninja or the Weavile. Draco should still KO the Deoxys, right? Yeah, let's go for a Draco. I think that's a better play. They go for a Light Skin. They do outspeed us still. Even with Choice Scarf, they outspeed us. Deoxys speed is just too fast. Draco Meteor comes through, though. Should do some nice damage. Yeah, nice damage. Nice damage. But that's not the issue here. So the issue here is we need to get the Decidueye in. So they can get a free switch in with their Skarmory right now, which they're probably going to do because they know we're locked into Draco. Blake the Sleepy. Who's Blake the Sleepy? Is that Weavile? It is. Nice and shiny as well. Nice and shiny as well. So, let us go back. And let us go into Robin Roots, like I originally planned. So, got a couple of options here. I need to defog. I really need to defog. Do I need my Terra for anything else other than this situation right here? The problem we've got is if they go for a triple... I think they go for a knockoff. I'm going to Terra Dark. We'll be resistant. If they go for a triple axle, it's all over. For the Decidueye, but I need to go for this defog. So I'm going to Terra Dark. I'm going to Terra Dark. Hoping they go for a knockoff and not a triple axle. They could go for either because either was super effective, so it is really a 50-50 chance on what they're going to do. And I'm taking that gamble. I am taking that gamble. I don't need Terra for anything else, I don't think. So we'll Terra Dark. They go for a knockoff. Thank you. It's going to do no damage. No damage, and we get a defog off. So that was a clutch Terra right there. A very clutch Terra. So now they either go for a fighting type move or they go for a triple axle. Or they switch into Skarmory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Alomomola. I said it right. Did I? Did I say that right? Alomomola? Alomomola. Hey, I think I said it right. They withdraw the Weavile. Are they going to go Skarmory as expected or Deoxys? Skarmory. So Skarmory is a good one. I don't know why they go Deoxys against the Decidueye, but you know, it's maybe they want to get the screens up. So we withdraw now. We go into our Palindrome, the goldfish, like so. And then we just go for a flip turn because they more than likely go for a Stealth Rocks again. There's the Stealth Rocks back on the field. We get a flip turn off, which is going to break that Sturdy, which is great. Flip turn comes through. And now we need to get rid of this Skarmory. That's what we need to do. We really need to get rid of this Skarmory. But what do we do to get rid of this Skarmory? That's the real question. So I'm leaning towards the Zapdos into Heat Wave. Zapdos they struggle to switch into. That's for sure. So there's also Cinderace, but Cinderace is weak to rocks. I think I'll go Zapdos just because we've got the boosts, and it's also just a direct counter to Skarmory in every single way. So we'll go Zapdos real quick, nice and shiny. And then we'll go for, if we assume they're going to go into the Rhyperior here, we should go for a double switch here. So I'm going to double, and I'm going to go into the, would the Decidueye be better? No, because they've got Solid Rock. I'm going to double into Alomomola. That's what I'm going to do. So we'll withdraw Zapdos now. We'll go into Alomomola. I can never tell if I'm saying it right. I keep trying to say it in different ways every single time as well. But anyway, this isn't a dictionary lesson or anything like that. So they actually do withdraw the Skarmory. Are they going to go Rhyperior? Yes, Rhyperior comes in. So we're going to keep the momentum going here. So they definitely don't want to risk a Scald. So they definitely go ahead and switch out, and we go for a flip turn on whatever they bring in. Or they expect us to go for a flip. They've just seen us do a double, so they're going to expect the flip turn. So we go for a Scald here. They withdraw the Rhyperior. But what do they bring in? Skarmory. So we get free damage off on the Skarmory, which is nice. Let's see how much damage this Scald does. And if we can get the burn, that'd be great because it'll half that body press's damage. No burn. No cigar. Let's go for a flip turn. They may go for a Spikes, but it's alright if they do that. They go for a Night Slash, which is interesting. So they're getting some chip damage off on the Alomomola, but the Rocky Helmet is there. We go for a flip turn. Take them down to 50% health. Rocky Helmet means nothing to a Regenerator Pokemon. And now we just bring in anything we want to finish this thing off. Now I'm leaning towards the Hydreigon into a Dark Pulse. But Body Press could be a... No, they've got Night Slash. So they've got Night Slash. They've probably got Roost. Stealth Rocks. What else could they have? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. So I think the play here is to go into Hydreigon. So I am going to go into Hydreigon real quick. Dark Pulse should do a lot of damage. They more than likely go into the Rhyperior again. I think we play it safe this turn. We don't make any drastic reads. I think they're going to expect us to make a read here. They're going to expect us to predict the Rhyperior and go for a Draco Meteor. So they're going to bring in something to take a Draco Meteor. I say we go for a Fire Blast. I think they let Skarmory go down here, like by accident. I could be wrong, but it's just a guess, really. Yep, they did. They did exactly as I predicted. Skarmory goes down, and that is one less Pokemon to deal with. So once them Stealth Rocks are gone again from the Decidueye, they're gone for good, and that's great for my Cinderace. It's really good for my Cinderace, that is. So Greninja the Gourmet's coming in. Nice and shiny, so we know it's not Battle Bond because you can't have shiny Battle Bond Greninja. So we know it's Protean. We definitely switch out here. I say Alomomola. They may predict this and go for a Grass Knot, but we have got special defense investment, so we should be able to take it like a champ. So let's see how this plays out. So Alomomola comes in. Stealth Rocks are going to play into effect. And then they go for a Ice Beam, expecting maybe the Decidueye. No, the Decidueye is not a Grass type anymore. It's a Dark type. So Ice Beam is probably the best move to hit to Hydreigon, that's all. Let us go for a flip turn because they definitely switch out here, right? They go for an Ice Beam again, maybe expecting a hard switch, but no. Or a freeze. Oh, they froze me. They froze me like a sod. Okay. Not all is lost. We can get out of this. Let's go for a Scald. Scald should melt the ice, right? They go for another Ice Beam. We can take one more after that. Scald melted the ice. And then we go for the Scald and we might get a burn. Burn would be nice. Bit of residual damage every turn. But it doesn't happen. So let's go for a flip turn now. And now I know we can take another Ice Beam. They've got to be specs, by the way they keep going for Ice Beam. Crit. No freeze again. I was expecting a freeze again, but we didn't get it this time. So flip turn's going to do some decent damage. More than Scald did somehow. And now that we know they're locked into Ice Beam, or probably locked into Ice Beam, we could go into Mamoswine. Mamoswine does really well. Or we can go to Hydreigon and go for a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse outspeeds. Or we could drop a Draco. I'd say we go Hydreigon and drop a Draco. I think that's the way to go. Hydreigon to drop a Draco. Definitely Hydreigon to drop a Draco. So Pointing Stones do dig in, but we can just drop a Draco real quick. So let's go for it. They're Choice Scarfed! I thought that was Specs damage because my Alola is fully special defensive invested. And that Ice Beam was doing a lot of damage. So I really thought... The Choice Scarfed. Remember that, Jack. Just remember that real quick. But Mamoswine has no switch-ins on their team. They have no switch into Mamoswine. So I go for an Earthquake here. 100% go for an Earthquake here. Greninja does withdraw, which is great. What are they going to go into, though? The Weavile to sack it? Rhyperior. Good play. Okay, probably can take an Earthquake because of the solid rock ability, but... we do outspeed, so we can go for another Icicle Spear if we want to afterwards. There we go. Rhyperior goes down to the ice. Well, not necessarily might switch out, but let's go for an Icicle Spear just in case. They do stay in, which is great. Icicle Spear is going to cleanly two-shot the Rhyperior. To be fair, I could have gone for an Earthquake there instead because that actually gave them an opening to go into Greninja, but they knew I would probably KO them with something, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Greninja the Gourmet comes in. We know this thing is scarfed. We have used our Terror, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to save this for probably the Weavile, provided they don't have a low kick. So what's my switch into Greninja here? They probably go for a Water type move. In which case, what's the best play? I'd say we go Palindrome when we sack it off. Alomamola's not doing anything for us anymore. Not really, anyway. I mean, it's a good switch into the Weavile, but not good enough. Not with the low health. I know I can probably play some games with Regenerator, but they go for a Surf. It's going to turn him into a pure Water type, which is fine. And we live that, which is great. So now we go for a flip turn, just on the off chance they don't attack us, but obviously they do. Surf comes through, Palindrome goes down. So with the Palindrome out of the way, we now get a free switch in with whatever we want against this Greninja, which we know is scarfed. So first things first, I want to go into Decidueye to try and get rid of this thing, because Decidueye is specially defensive. We can definitely take a Surf from this thing. I'm just thinking about Stealth Rocks. Looking at my team, do I need to get rid of Stealth Rocks for the rest of my team? We've got Zapdos with Heavy Duty Boots. We've got Cinderace, and we've got Mamoswine. Mamoswine doesn't care too much. Cinderace is the only one that cares. I think I might be better off going for the KO here with the Leaf Blade. They do withdraw the Greninja. What are they going to go into? The Deoxys? Blake the Sleepy. That's going to be the Weavile. So they probably expected a Poltergeist there, which makes sense. Going to exert some pressure. We go for that Leaf Blade real quick. Should do a lot of damage. It's clean 50%. And now, what do we do? Zapdos ain't doing much for us, really. If we can static the Weavile, that'd be amazing. I say we try it, because if they go for a triple axle, they're going to hit us 3 times. Which means there's a good chance they'll paralyze them. So we go into Zapdos. We can take at least 2 triple axles from this thing, unless it's banded. Triple axle comes through. Yeah, we can take 1, 2. There's the static. There's the static. See, if they're hitting us 3 times, they're basically guaranteed to get staticked. So Zapdos was a good play there. It worked out for us. I hate banking on hacks, but you know, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. So Now that the Cinderace is, now that the Weavile is being paralyzed, we can outspeed it with Mamoswine. We can outspeed it with Cinderace. I am going to go for the Cinderace play. I think Cinderace is a good play. So we'll bring in Striker real quick. Like so. And then we'll go straight for a U-turn because they either switch out or they let the Cinderace go, the Weavile go down. So we go for a U-turn like so. Boom. That's great. So with Cinderace KOing the Weavile like that, we are in a very good position. A very good position. So Cinderace, come on back. This battle's turning intense. Turning intense. So with Weavile out of the way, they've got a couple of things they can do. They can do the Greninja play. Or I think the best thing to do is to go into Decidueye. Decidueye is actually proving to be a bit more useful this game. Because with it being Terra Dark and being neutral to everything the Greninja can throw at us, I can definitely live a Surf from this thing. And go for a Leaf Blade to get the KO. Deoxys comes in instead though. Probably to go for a... if I had to guess, to go for a Reflect. If I had to guess to go for a Reflect. So I go for a Poltergeist here. Yeah, Reflect comes through. So Reflect comes through, it makes sense because my last remaining Pokemon are all physical. So we go for a Poltergeist. Please don't miss. They avoided the attack. Let's go for another Poltergeist. They go for an Ice Beam, which is going to bounce off us. Yep. No freeze. Poltergeist comes through and misses again. No, we don't. That's great. That's great. As Deoxys goes down. So Deoxys speed out of the way. We've got Greninja to deal with, which has to lock itself into one move, which is more than likely going to be Surf because we have a Mamoswine and a Cinderace in the back. Which means, and since they are Choice Scarf, they're not Specs, there's a very good chance we live. So let's go for a Leaf Blade and find out. So they go for a Surf. Watch if the Decidueye comes through here. We lived on 1 HP! We lived on 1 HP! Decidueye came through for us. That's a clutch moment right there. Decidueye really came through for us in that one. Oh, wow. That was very good. GG, Cody. That was a fun game. I enjoyed that one big time. I can't believe you just did that. And the third battle is here. We're going against Bam from the Discord server in the OU tier, and they've got a pretty interesting looking team. They got an Abomasnow, a Skeledirge, Roaring Moon, Great Tusk, Serperior, and a Hisuian Samurott. So we know what they're probably going to lead with, which is going to be the Hisuian Samurott, right? So we should lead off with something that can counteract that. I'm thinking of Zapdos. Zapdos does really well against their entire team. And if they lead with the Abomasnow, they probably go for an Aurora Veil anyway, so we can just Heat Wave that thing in the face. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, bam. So they're going to lead off with the Roaring Moon, which is nice and shiny. Look at that. As we lead off with Zapdos, another shiny of the same color, because I have a thing for orange and black. They go for the Photosynthesis, which is going to boost their attack, making them a very big threat, but they won't attack us, I don't think. I think they either switch out, or if they go for a knockoff, it won't KO, but they might get the static, which I'm thinking they might be a bit more conscious about. So let's go for a Volt Switch real quick. They do go for the knockoff. Is it going to KO? It doesn't KO, but we get the static, which is exactly what I said would happen if they attacked me, but no one listens to me. Not that they can hear me or anything. So we go for a Volt Switch real quick on the Roaring Moon. And we can definitely go for a Roost later on to get some health back against the Skeledirge, against the Abomasnow if we need to. And now all we need to do is just drop a Draco on this thing's face with Hydreigon. I'm looking at their team. They don't really have the best switch in to drop a Draco. So I'm going to go into Maleficent, the nice and shiny Hydreigon, as so. Looking nice and powerful. And then I'm going to drop a Draco because, like I said, there's nothing on the team that wants to take it. Roaring Moon doesn't normally Terra Fairy, and I don't think they'd waste the Terra on a paralyzed Pokemon like Roaring Moon. They do withdraw. They don't have a switch in, though. I mean, Skeledirge can probably take a hit. Nabushi comes in. That's the Hisuian Samurott. That's a cool nickname. We drop a Draco real quick, though. That should do a lot of damage, as it cleanly takes out the Hisuian Samurott, which is amazing. No critical hit required. Perfect. So no spikes for them. They could still get Stealth Rocks up with the Great Tusk later, but I don't think they will, because you don't normally see Stealth Rocks and Great Tusk. Orochi comes in, which I'm assuming is the Serperior. Yes, it is. That's a cool nickname for a Serperior. Right, so we got to switch out, and I'm leaning towards the Decidueye. Problem is, if they set up a Leaf Storm, we're boned. So I'm leaning more towards the Cinderace, to be honest with you. So we'll go into Cinderace first. There we go. Cinderace comes through nice and shiny. Gotta love it. They go for a glare. So they're using my paralysis against me. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. I just hope we don't get fully paralyzed now. Let's go for a U-turn. Turn into a bug type real quick. They do go for a leaf storm, which is going to miss. Which doesn't matter too much because it wouldn't have done too much damage. But this Libero choice banded U-turn, unfortunately for them, is going to kick that Superior right out of there. So Superior goes down, which is really unfortunate for them. Cinderace still going strong with the paralysis, unlike their Roaring Moon, which is pretty much useless now. Cinderace, on the other hand, has Sucker Punch, which is priority, so that's why I say it's not as useless. So anyway, we'll go Hydreigon for that for now. And the reason I'm going Hydreigon is because I have a feeling they're going to go Skeledirge. Just a hunch. A hunch. They either go Skeledirge or a Bomber Snow. That's what I'd say. So let's see what they do. Shrek comes in. That's going to be what? A Bomber Snow. Yeah, I said a Bomber Snow. So the reason they bring a Bomber Snow in is obviously so they can get the Aurora Veil up, but they're trying to anyway. We obviously can go for a Fire Blast here, and we can even Terra if we want to. I think I will Terra with Hydreigon. I think Hydreigon has potential to do the most damage this game. So I'm going to go for a Terra Poison Fire Blast, and I'm hoping they don't... I'm hoping they stay in and they don't Terra. I don't think they will Terra. I really don't think they'll Terra, but there is a possibility. But normally a Bomber Snow's there to help Aurora Veil and stuff. But we go for a Fire Blast, take out the Bomber Snow, right? Yeah. Hydreigon's just coming in right now and wrecking house. So with a Bomber Snow out of the way, like so, we've got Skeledirge, which can easily come in now. We've got Roaring Moon, which can easily come in. And we've got the Great Tusk. They bring the Skeledirge in. Nice and shiny. The Grim Reaper is here. The Grim Reaper is here. So let us go. Let us go. Let's sack off Zapdos, because Zapdos wasn't doing much for us. They could be the Throat Spray set with Torch Song. It's a very big possibility. We'll have to see, though. So we'll bring in Fundaja. The Zapdos, like so. They go for a Torch Song, which is epic. Down it goes. They do get the boost in special attack, and they may have Throat Spray. I guess we will find out in a second. Have they got it? They do. They do have the Throat Spray. So now that thing is a threat. So, it could Terra still. So we bring in Hydreigon. And the reason we bring Hydreigon is we're going to bait them to go for a Terra Fairy here. We're going to bait them to go for a Terra Fairy. So we're going to go for a U-turn first. They don't Terra. Interesting. They don't Terra. So what do we go into now? If we know they're going to go for a Torch Song, then maybe Mamoswine's the best. Maybe Mamoswine could be the best play. But Decidueye is not doing anything this game. Let's sack off Decidueye to a +2 Torch Song. We might even live, to be fair. They go for Earth Power. You know Hydreigon has Levitate, right? I'm assuming they didn't realize that. Or they were predicting a different Pokemon to come in, like Cinderace, which makes sense, to be fair. +2 Earth Power would have definitely KO'd my Cinderace. Let's go for a Poltergeist real quick. Oh no, we went for Poltergeist! We went for Poltergeist! Why is that a bad thing? Because they've already used their Throat Spray. I made a bad play. My bad. They are Terra Fairy though, which is great. Great to know. I don't know why they didn't Terra Fairy on the Hydreigon earlier when we could have gone for a Dark Pulse, but at least we managed to get it out of them. As they go for a Torch Song, should KO. It does KO. So it doesn't even matter that we went for a Poltergeist. Doesn't matter at all. The point was to sack off the Decidueye. And at least I realized that I made a mistake, even though it was too late to realize. So now we know the Terra Fairy. Well, now that we know it's Terra Fairy, what do we do? Mamoswine? Icicle Spear? Could do. I think it will do. Because we've got Thick Fat, so there is a decent chance we'll live. But what we really want to do is get as much damage on this thing as possible. I'm pretty sure Icicle Spear, if it hits 5 times, does more damage than an Earthquake. So we'll go for an Icicle Spear real quick. There we go. If it hits 5 times, it does more damage. As long as we hit that 50% mark, we're alright. There we go. And 5. There we go. Nicely done. Let's see if they go for a Slack Off. Torch Song again. It's going to sting. Definitely stings a little bit. Just a little bit. So now, we're in an interesting position. Why are we in an interesting position, I hear you say? So, the interesting position is that we have got Cinderace here. They could have Hex. I kind of want to go for a Sucker Punch so we can get as much damage off as possible. But I don't want them to be able to go... I can't go Aloma Mola because I'll go for a Slack Off and get the health back. I need their health as low as possible for the Hydreigon. That's the predicament I'm in. So I think Cinderace is the best option because we can scare them. If they go for a Slack Off, then they're going to get hit with a Choice Band of Pyro Ball, which will do more than the Icicle Spear did. So let's go for it. Let's go for the Pyro Ball. They do go for an Earth Power. Okay, so that's unfortunate. I guess I didn't want to go for a Sucker just in case they Slack Offed. But I was really hoping we could do something there. But I guess not. So I guess it's down to Hydreigon, really. All comes down to Hydreigon. I should have just done this in the first place. I should have left Cinderace be. Use it as sack fodder later. We go for a Fire Blast though and hope for the best. We miss the Fire Blast, which is really unfortunate. And they go for a Torch Song, which is going to KO the Hydreigon. So that is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. But Skeledirge came through for them in the end. And it definitely won them the game. Granted, I could have played it a little better. I don't really know what I could have done differently. Cinderace should have Sucker Punched, I guess. But we missed the Fire Blast anyway. So it's not at the end. At the end of the day, we still missed the Fire Blast. So it's like, what can you do? Let's go for a Scald. They go for a Terra Blast. It's going to definitely take out my Aloma Lola. My Aloma Lola. There we go. Takes out the Aloma and Skeledirge sweeps us. So what an anticlimactic battle for the final battle of the video. But at least Hydreigon hit the field and it did some stuff. But it was a nice 3-0 victory to my opponent. So GG Bam. That's your first time beating me, I think. So he seems very happy about it in the Discord server. But anyway, here's the team. Try it out if you want to. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Let me know how you do with it. If you do try it out, let me know in the comment section how it turned out for you. Obviously, the custom shinies won't be there on your game. They're only on my game. So please, no one say, how come the shinies look different even though it's the same rental team? But anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. And I'll see you in a bit.